They're trying.
Take action.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, we're in high def. Okay, I'm going to call to order the reorganization meeting for Tuesday, January the 3rd, 2017. Can we please stand for the pledge? And Mr. McCombs, will you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And could I have a moment of silence for those serving our country both at home and abroad? Thank you. Okay, the first up on tonight's agenda is public comment on agenda items only. Is there any public comment on tonight's agenda items? Okay. Seeing none, we're going to move right into the election of officers, election of chairman. Is there a motion for chairman?
Motion to nominate Mr. Mark McKee as our chair.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. McPhillips, second. All in favor?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Motion carries 5-0.
Just want to comment that you have been a very diplomatic and fair and very professional, and happy to have you as our chair.
And thank you, and I appreciate it, and it's been a privilege to serve as the chairman, and Mr. McPhillips warned me that it's very tiring, and he was quite correct. So I'm going to move on to election of vice chairman, and I'd like to make that nomination. I'd like to nominate Jason Crowley for vice chairman.
I'll second that.
Second by Dan McPhillips. All in favor?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations,
Appreciate it.
Appointment of treasurer. Is there a motion for treasurer?
I'd like to nominate Mr. Brian Monroe for treasurer.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Mr. McPhillips. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Motion carries. Appointment of assistant treasurer. Is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Kathy Frescatore as Assistant Treasurer.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Mr. McPhillips. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The chair votes aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Appointment of secretary. Is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Dan McPhillips as secretary.
And I will
Second that.
I will second that. Well, Ms. Frescatore beat me to it, so. We'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
Thank you.
Appointment of assistant secretary. I'm going to go ahead and appoint and nominate Mr. Greg Schuster to serve as assistant secretary, because that's traditionally how it's done. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Crowley, second. All in favor?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Okay, that concludes our business for the board officers on the board. Going to move on to item E, Township Solicitor, and I will make the motion myself. I would like to make a motion to appoint Mike Savona from Eastburn and Gray.
I'd like to second that, Mr.
Second by
Chair.
Ms. Frescatore. Is there a seconded? So I'm going to go ahead and call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. All opposed?
No.
Nay.
Motion carries 3-2. Alternate counsel. Is there a motion for alternate counsel?
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Patrick Armstrong, Grimby and Thacher as our alternate counsel.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Monroe, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes chair votes aye. Oh, chair votes aye. Sorry, I'm reading ahead while I'm trying to go through this. 5-0. Thank you. Labor Council, is there a motion for Labor Council?
Ryan Cassidy?
Becker Seaman?
Seaman?
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Monroe, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Environmental Council. And it's Barry.
Steinberg.
Barry Steinberg.
I'll make the motion for Barry Steinberg, and I don't remember the name of Barry's firm.
Utah.
Kutok and Rock.
Rock. Yes.
Okay, and for the public's consumption, that Barry's representing us on the Shenandoah Wood issue. It's one issue that we've retained Barry. Last year, we didn't take action to approve Barry, but we'd like to officially do it, but that's what Barry's role is. Was there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye, motion carries. Township Engineer, is there a motion?
Like to nominate Craig Kennard
From,
from Gilmore and Associates.
okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Monroe, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Is there a motion for Traffic Engineer?
I'd like to nominate Gilmore and Associates to serve as traffic engineer.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Mr. Monroe, all in favor?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Planning Services, there's a motion for Planning Services.
I'll make a motion to appoint Judy Goldstein of Boucher and James.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Crowley, all in favor?
Aye.
The chair votes aye, motion carries. Special Liaison to the YMCA Partnership, is there a motion? I would nominate Mr. Leo Quinn.
Oh, okay.
Leo's probably having a heart attack at home. Hey, is there a second? For the public's consumption, Leo has served in a role as liaison to the YMCA on behalf of the board and the township, and has done a phenomenal job of shepherding this to where we want to see it go, so.
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Monroe, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. All is good, Leo. Okay. Okay, appointments to advisory boards and committees. Consider approval of Resolution 217-01 to establish Planning Commission alternate members. So I'm going to move on to that.
You want me to explain that?
Yeah, would you please?
All right, Mr. Chairman, this is actually on your script. We're jumping to item 3C, but that's okay. It is the staff's recommendation to change slightly the composition of the Planning Commission. Currently, the Planning Commission has citizen advisors, which is perfectly acceptable, although it's kind of a unique situation to Warminster. We're recommending that you eliminate the citizen advisors and change them over to alternates, exactly like what's done with the Zoning Hearing Board. That way, if there's any regular member of the Planning Commission that cannot sit or is absent for a meeting, one of the alternate members can take their place.
So we're going from a citizen advisor who didn't have a vote to an alternate who potentially would have a vote.
Correct.
Okay.
So is there a motion to adopt that resolution?
I'll motion.
Establish Planning Commission alternative members.
I'll
Motion.
second it.
Second by Ms. Frescatore. Any discussion from the board? Any from the public? Okay, seeing none, I'll call the question.
There was.
Rita had a question.
I'm sorry. I thought you were sneezing.
Anita Cook, 911 Auto Lane. So I just want to confirm, so the Planning Commission, they're voted on, is that right?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so then potentially someone that we as the citizens have not voted on could have a say in, no? I thought you said they could have a vote.
Do you want me to take?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure,
The Planning Commission is appointed by this body.
okay.
So they're not elected officials. So whether you're a regular member, a citizen advisor, or an alternate, it's the same exact process, appointment by the Board of Supervisors.
Okay, so then, this party that might have a vote would be appointed by you guys?
Yes.
Okay,
And
cool beans.
traditionally, they were citizen advisors that didn't have a vote. So a lot of times we run into where we don't have a quorum at these
Right.
meetings, or
Oh,
we're short a
I'm
member,
there.
where an alternate can step in and
Right, okay,
and vote.
thank
It
you.
actually it's better for the board.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify, thank you.
Any other comments? I call a question, all in favor?
Aye.
The chair votes aye. Okay, I'm gonna go back to appointments of boards and advisory committees now. We'll slow things down a little, because
All right, where are you going now, Mark?
we're going to number 3 on your script,
Okay,
appointments to boards and advisory committees.
okay.
And the first one is the vacancy board. Is there a motion to appoint a member for the vacancy board?
Ruth Ann Iden?
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Call the question, all in favor of Ruth Ann Inen?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Any opposed? No? Okay, motion carries 5-0. Planning Commission member, we have one person up this year. Is there a motion?
Well, I'd like to nominate Mr. Wayne McCulloch.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second for Wayne McCulloch. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The chair votes aye. Congratulations and welcome back, Wayne.
Wayne?
Carries. Okay, now we have to name alternates to the Planning Commission.
You have, you just approved that resolution.
Right.
So at the moment, you can name up to 3 positions as alternates. You do have 3 individuals remaining that have submitted letters of interest.
Are we doing one by one, or we're doing all 3? Okay.
You can do it however you like.
Why don't we
You
do
can-
one by one?
Yeah, that's what I was planning on doing, one by one.
Okay. I nominate Charlie Metzger.
Okay, Charlie Metzger, is there a second for Charlie Metzger?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, Charlie Metzger?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
I'd like to nominate Mr. Bob Ferraro
Bob
as
Ferraro.
alternate member.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Oh, any opposed? No? Okay, you'll notify Mr. Ferraro.
Yeah, we notify everyone. They all get
Okay,
letters.
so I don't have to say that
That-
after each appointment.
Everyone gets a letter.
Is there a name for the third alternate? I don't.
There is a name, Robert Johnson.
I'd like to nominate Robert Johnson.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, is there, all in favor?
Aye.
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 And the chair votes aye. Motion carries. Okay. I'm going to move on to the zoning and hearing board. Is there a motion to appoint a member for a 5-year term to the zoning hearing board?
I nominate Scott DeRosa.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Congratulations, Scott, welcome back. Now, for the alternate to the zoning hearing board, I think there's been a little bit of discussion about possibly tabling this to February until we get a chance to speak to the people that have interviewed for it. And I'd like to put a motion on the floor that we table the alternates until February.
I'll second that.
Seconds there, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Chair votes aye. So, Mr. Schuster, we're going to go ahead and table that until February.
Yep.
Hey, municipal authority, correct? Is that where we're at now? No, wait.
That's what's,
I think so.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, they're there.
municipal authority. Is there a motion for one member?
I'd like to nominate Dr. David Bailey.
Is there a second for David Bailey?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. McPhillips. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Welcome back, Dave. I don't know how many years Dave has served on this. It's
35?
35 years.
35 years.
yeah,
if
35
not more.
years, so he's to be commended for volunteering to serve another term. Okay, library board. I don't believe that we had any letters of interest for the library board. Am I wrong?
Something like that.
For,
Tom.
yes, we have 3 members that are available. One is reapplying, 1 new person, and one that does not wish to return.
Okay, I have them in front of me here. Okay, I got it. Okay, is there a motion for the library board?
Susan Schultz is a present member, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah.
I'd like to nominate her then.
I'll second it.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The chair votes aye. Is there another nomination? Library board.
I'll nominate Jeanette Archetto.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
The chair votes aye.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, just to clarify, there are 2 3-year terms and 1 1-year term. Are you doing this for 3-year, both of them for 3-year terms, or are you splitting
I
them?
would guess that we would, or
But there's going to be one open position then,
then there'll be
right?
one open position, and
There'll
we're
be
gonna
one
have to fill it another time.
The open position would be a 1-year term then, if you're going to do the 2
I
3-year
think that's
terms.
fair enough, because these people have submitted letters and shown interest.
We did get a letter from, what was that last name? We just,
Jeanette
Archetto.
Archetto.
But,
It was, yeah, we saw that letter today, I believe.
Right.
oh, it came in today, okay.
So 3-year terms, that's
Yeah.
what you're doing? Okay,
Yeah, we do that.
Was that agreeable to the board?
Okay.
okay.
thank you.
No problem.
And that leaves one,
One 1-year term.
open, and I understand that there might be some interest, and we can take action on that 3rd in February if there's interest. Okay. All right, next up is item I, Construction Board of Appeals, 1 position, expires in 2021, and 1 position in 2019. And I believe we've only received 1 letter for that. Is there a motion?
Nominate Rich Luce.
Is there a second for Richard Luce?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
And that's for the 5-year term?
Yes.
Thank you.
And being that we didn't get a letter for the 2nd term, we will leave that open for now. Okay,
There's another spot, oh, there's another spot there. Okay.
Right. that we
Okay.
received.
All right.
Yeah,
thanks.
there's not a line
Thank you.
out the door. to
Right,
make
I
it
know.
sure.
Last time the CBA met.
We want to thank
was,
Richard.
yeah.
We want to thank Richard for his service. The Park and Rec Advisory Committee, is there a motion to appoint for the Parks and Rec Advisory Committee for a 2-year term? There's 2 positions for 2-year terms, so we'll do them one at a time. Is
Okay.
there a motion for,
Yes, I'd like to nominate Katie Quinn Buck.
is there a second for Katie Quinn?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes
Welcome
aye.
back, Katie.
Welcome back, Katie's right. It's another 2-year term. Is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to appoint John Cochran.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The chair votes aye. Okay, Park and Rec, Citizen Advisors, 3 positions. Is there a motion?
Darlene, I'd like to nominate Darlene Baker as a citizen advisor.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
I was in a second, go ahead.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The chair votes aye as well. Darlene has asked to go to a citizen advisor. She was a voting member for many years, but her job has kind of kept her away from attending every meeting, so that's why she's asked. And we have 2 more citizen advisors, but we only had
Don't have any other
don't have any others.
applicants.
So that's open. Anyone out to the public that would like to serve as a citizen advisor on the Park and Rec Commission, please feel free to let us know. Next up is the Golf Advisory Committee. 3 positions are available for 3 members for 2-year terms. Is there a motion? Okay. I'll nominate Francis Foley.
Okay, there you go.
I'll second that.
Second, all in favor, Francis Foley?
Aye.
Aye.
The chair votes aye. For the second position,
Richard Ludwig?
Richard Ludwig. Is there a second for Richard Ludwig?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. And for the third, is there a
Larry
nomination?
McKee, or how do you
McHugh.
pronounce?
Larry McHugh.
McHugh.
Yes. Okay, is there a second for Larry?
Second, Larry.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Is there a citizen advisor up for that, too? I think
Yes,
there is.
Don
Okay, yeah, the
Visco.
citizen advisor.
Mhm.
Is there a motion for the citizen advisor, which is a one-year term for the golf committee?
I'll make a motion for Don Visco for Citizen Advisor.
Is there a second?
I can second that.
Ms. Frescatore, second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And the chair votes aye. Motion carries.
And that leaves one opening?
One opening,
Yes, yes, so
Right,
if anyone
okay.
has an
Oh,
interest,
that
please let
rarely
us know.
happens.
Okay.
That doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah?
Free
that's
golf.
Oh,
it. Okay, next up is going to be the
EAC.
Environmental Advisory Council, 2 positions.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Donna Elms as a member of the EAC.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
I'd like to nominate Shelley Ellenberg.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
And just for clarification, which is the 3-year term and which is the 2-year term?
Oh.
We nominated the first one we nominated.
Donna.
Donna
did
Elms was
three.
the one you nominated for. She went 3 years for her?
Okay.
Yeah.
And we have to also appoint a chair.
Right, that's next.
Next, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, we're clear with that, right?
Correct.
Okay, next up is Environmental Advisory Council Chairperson. Is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Andrew Dixon as the chair.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Motion carries.
Welcome back, Andrew.
Welcome back, Andrew. The next one up is the IT Committee, and I'm going to ask Mr. Schuster to comment on this.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The IT committee, in my understanding, hasn't met in a number of years. I'm not sure why it was originally formed. I can't say that we do have a staff on board that does handle our IT issues. So I'm not sure if we actually need this going forward. Once the codification is complete, I'm going to be reviewing the ordinances and some of the boards that are out there and be providing some recommendations. So I may actually recommend that this committee be eliminated at some point. If you don't want to go that direction, if you want it to remain, of course, you can go ahead and make appointments, but it has been defunct for some time.
I'd just like to make a comment that if it's not performing a function, why waste people's time?
Right.
You know, if it's necessary, then of course we should have it, but if it's not doing anything at this point, whatever you feel is best.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do right now is let it go. I don't know what value it would
Okay.
add at this point.
I'm all right with that.
So we need to discuss that further. at a
Yeah,
future
after
meeting.
the codification,
I don't know if that was done by resolution or if it was ad hoc. We'll have to
we'll have to look into
look
that.
at it and
Yeah.
see what action needs to be taken.
I don't know how the other members feel about it.
Well, I feel the same way.
Okay.
That's why I passed it off to Mr. Schuster for discussion, because when
Right.
it came up, we said, it hasn't met in a
I
couple
think
of years.
it's the
so.
first I heard of it all year.
Right, me too.
Okay, next one up is item Q, Economic Development Committee, citizen members. 2 positions are open, 1 3-year term, 1 term expiring in 2018. Is there a motion for the citizen member?
May I just ask for an explanation, because it was a little confusing.
Right.
Yes, this one is.
It is, okay, so how many citizen advisors are on here? How many businesses? If you could clarify that, Greg, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have the ordinance in front of me, but my recollection is there are 2 citizen advisors, but also as many business members as you want to appoint.
Oh, okay,
Right,
Business
that's how
owners,
we
yeah.
set it up.
Representatives of, yeah.
okay,
Right.
all right.
Right, is that how we did that?
Exactly,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
exactly how, yeah.
So
And how
2
many-
citizen advisors, okay.
2 citizen advisors,
Okay,
5 members.
all right,
Seven.
All
okay.
right, so the first thing we're taking action on are the citizen members, correct?
Right.
Is there a motion for citizen member?
I'd like to nominate Deborah Rossica,
I'll
Is there a
second that.
citizen member.
Second, Ms. Frescatore?
What terms do we have to fill? What,
One is a 3-year term, and 1 term expires in 2018.
I'd put Ms. Rossica for the 3-year term.
Second, Ms.
I'll
Frescatore?
second that.
Okay, All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. So his motion carries, Megan. For the second term expiring in 2018 for a citizen member.
I would like to nominate Pete Rothschild.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, second by Mr. McPhillips. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Okay, next we're moving on to,
You just did the citizen members, now is the citizen advisors for
right,
the economic
okay,
development.
economic,
And we
because there's
actually
two.
don't have any that haven't,
Correct, the ones that, there were some that applied, but I believe you already appointed
Appointed
all
them
three of
to
them to
the-
other boards.
Okay,
They expressed
Right.
interest in multiple
do
boards.
we need to reappoint our business owners too at this point? Or, because they're on my
That was
list
my
here.
next question.
Well, they're on their list because you can appoint as many as you want. So
Right.
we don't have any right now that are up for reappointment.
all right,
Oh,
so we're,
okay.
so we're,
Okay.
we're going right past that then on the,
Okay.
this
Correct.
agenda then.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, we're fine with it, I just want to
Okay.
make sure
Yeah.
we're
Any-
following.
Anyone else that has an interest in being a citizen?
No,
advisor,
absolutely,
Please reach out to
yeah.
the
Okay.
township manager and let the committee know that there's
Yeah,
people
and we
interested.
should also look at any of the names of people who were interested this time round, didn't fill anything, see if they might be interested.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
We go to time?
Yep, that's fine by me.
Okay, item 2, Pension Investment Advisory Committee, 2 positions. Is there a motion?
I'd nominate Tom Panzer.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. All
Aye.
opposed?
No.
Two.
Okay, 3-2. I need another name for the Pension Advisory Committee. Is there a motion?
I'll nominate Rich Smythe.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 And the chair votes aye. Motion carries. Okay, good. Okay, here comes another long one. Comprehensive Plan Subcommittee, 5 members, 2 Planning Commission, 1 EDC, 2 citizens at large. Are we, even though we just formed this committee, we have to
I
do
didn't
this?
think we had.
The resolution that
After.
formed the subcommittee did include the stipulation that it be reappointed at every single reorganization.
Okay.
Do we ask for letters of interest for that? or-
No, I didn't bother,
Okay.
because we
Do
talked
you
about.
want to take action on this in February then and get the letters back in from the people? I mean, this is
I
you
don't-
and Jason's
Yeah,
committee. You
at-
guys tell me
At
what you
our
want to
last
do.
meeting, we discussed it, Kathy. How do you feel about it? I thought, at the last meeting, I think we said, look, everybody want to be reappointed, and they're like, yes.
Yes,
So,
everybody was
but
pretty much.
do we
on
wanna
board.
Can we-
follow the
Can we take
protocol?
one motion and reappoint the committee as is? Can we do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I have no objection.
I have
to it.
no objection.
Okay, well, one of you make the motion to reappoint the Comprehensive Plan Subcommittee, 5 members to Planning EDC, citizens at large, as it stands,
Alright.
instead of going through the individuals.
Kathy, would you?
You can-
I can do it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to move that we nominate for the Comprehensive Plan Subcommittee the following individuals: Dave Hochschild, Wayne McCulloch, Joe Warner, Frankie Zokis, Joe Thompson, Catherine Frescatore, and Jason Crowley for the duration of 1 year.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. McPhillips, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Motion carries. Beautiful. Okay, Ben Wilson Center, Board of Directors, is there a motion?
I'd like
Oh,
to,
let me read these. To appoint 2 non-voting members at Ben Wilson Center.
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Carol Regan.
I'd like to second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
Congratulations, Carol.
Thank you, Carol.
Carol.
And don't forget Dan.
Yes, and the second one, I'll nominate myself as Dan I'd like to nominate Dan McPhillips.
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Crowley.
Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
I appreciate, I want to stress I'm not quite a member yet. So someday I will plan to be a member of the,
In all honesty and credit to Dan, of all of us, Dan spends more time in the Ben Wilson Center than any of us, and it participates in their activities and is helpful to them, so that's a well-deserved appointment. Okay, next up is appointment of supervisor liaisons. Good luck with this one. Planning Commission. Now, do we have to take a motion? Do we have to take action on each one of these, or is this done by consensus?
If you're not changing anything, I suppose you can make one motion saying you're going to leave the liaison assignments that were in place for 2016 in place for 2017. But imagine that motion would work.
Do you have a reminder as to who's on what?
I'm sorry, I don't.
I can tell you, because I have the list in front of me.
Okay,
Through
good.
the
Why
magic
don't-
of-
Why don't you make the motion?
All right, here's the motion.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Brian Monroe as the Board Liaison for Zoning Hearing Board, Mark McKee as the Board Liaison for the Warminster Municipal Authority, Jason Crowley as the liaison to the Planning Commission, Dan McPhillips as the liaison to the Library Board, Mark McKee as the liaison to the Golf Advisory Committee, Brian Monroe as the liaison to the Environmental Advisory Council, Catherine Frescatore as the Board Liaison to Parks and Recreation, and
MCA.
Dan McPhillips and Jason Crowley as the EDC liaisons, and Mark McKee as the Pension Advisory committee liaison. And
Brian.
Brian Monroe, I'm sorry, I skipped past that too quickly. Ballfield Advisory Group of Kathy Frescatore and Mark McKee. The YMCA Partnership, Kathy Frescatore and Mark McKee. And that would be everything, I
You
think.
about covered it.
Okay,
That's it?
okay.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Brian Monroe.
Sorry, did you do the comp plan subcommittee?
Well, we took action on that at the last.
Yeah, I voted us in then.
Oh, you did then?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
That's
yeah,
the-
we
got
took
it.
action on the last motion.
Sorry.
Okay.
And Ben Wilson, Dan was already voted
Yep.
into.
Right. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The chair votes aye. Motion carries. Okay. That part is out of the way. Okay, item 5, establish township depositories. Is there a motion to designate First National Bank of Newtown as the township depository for calendar year 2017, or other institutions to invest that may be necessary, best possible rates, interest rates including Bucks County Bank, TD Bank, and BB&T? Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Mr. Phillips? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The chair votes aye. Next up is the, motion carries, Megan. Next up is the treasurer's bond. Is there a motion to set the treasurer's bond and assistant treasurer's bond at $2 million?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Crowley. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Okay, next up is establish regular public meeting schedule. This is something that I left on here vaguely as options, because I wanted to discuss it as a board. For the past 2 years, we have scheduled 2 meetings and canceled a meeting every month because we just haven't had a need to have 2 meetings. I personally think that we should schedule 1 meeting per month on the 3rd Thursday of the month and add meetings as necessary, which we've done.
I like that
You
idea,
know, I
Mr.
wanted to
Chair.
leave it open for discussion for the board and get the board's thoughts on it.
I like that idea.
I would prefer sticking with the model where you have 2 meetings a month.
Yeah.
That's what,
And I could go either way. I really don't, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, we're having 2 meetings when necessary. We're having, the reason we have 1 meeting is because we quite simply don't have business, and it doesn't make sense to convene this board and pay
Right.
the professionals and to come when we really don't have business, so.
Mr. Crowley, Mr. Monroe, how do you feel?
I was just gonna say that, that to the best of my knowledge, when we canceled meetings, it was because, one, as you just said, there wasn't enough business in front of the board to justify taxpayers' dollars for the professionals to come here. Secondly, and that this may have changed, but when we were very short on staff, it was very time-consuming for the manager and his staff to be able to get up to speed, to put everything together for a board meeting. So I don't know if that's still the case or not, but that's something to consider.
Well, I think it's always a case that I've seen since I've been on the board, that we have a meeting, and when we're doing 2 meetings religiously, that the day after the meeting, the staff is busy working on the next meeting. And it really doesn't leave them a lot of time to do what they're
Right.
supposed to be doing. But, I mean, the question that we need to talk about is, do we want to schedule 2 meetings and cancel them as necessary, or do we want to schedule 1 and
Right.
add them? It's basically.
Semantics.
Right. So, I mean, how do we want to go about it?
I like the idea of having 1 definitely scheduled, and then if Greg says, hey, we need to have another one, we have a lot of business, then have the extra. But instead of canceling, you know, people then know ahead of time, they're scheduled every month, this date.
The 3rd Thursday.
Third,
of the-
everybody knows, and then if need be, then we can always add 1, if everybody else is agreeable to that.
Any opinion, Jason?
You know, my initial thought was schedule the 3rd Thursday and add as necessary, though. You know, it is a matter of semantics, and it's, you know, we're gonna take any.
But I mean,
comment?
if you guys feel strongly about scheduling 2 and not canceling meetings as we go, I'm okay with that too.
I guess what it boils down to is what is more confusing to the public. That's what we're talking about. We
Anyone in
don't
the
wanna-
public want to comment? Come on, let's hear it. Sure.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, I wanted to leave this open for discussion.
Let's skip that one.
Because I don't want the public to think, geez, they're not being transparent, but we are.
I think it's easier to have 2 scheduled and cancel 1 than to make a second meeting, and then what if the word doesn't get out?
Right.
You know, I
And
mean,
that's a very
if
valid point.
someone wants to bring something to the board's attention or have their voice heard, they can check the schedule
Right.
and see if it's already been canceled, or,
Right.
it's just, I think, easier. Mr. Schuster is very active on social media. We always see, you know, this is happening, that's happening. something's canceled. I think you canceled one maybe last month, and that's how I found out.
Right.
So,
If we scheduled one, that would, you have ample time for residents to know, correct, right, Greg?
Well, yeah, I
that's
mean,
if they're on social media.
Right, but it'd be on the township website too.
so if you scheduled one meeting a month, if you're talking about adding a meeting, it would of course go in the paper as a public notice, which absolutely no one reads, let's be honest with that.
Right.
It would go on social media, on the website, so we would get the word out as much as we possibly could.
Okay,
But would it reach everyone? I don't know.
right.
So, I mean, if the consensus is that we keep the two and we just cancel meetings when we don't need them, I'm okay with that too. I mean, if that's,
Probably at this point, I mean,
okay. Well,
if we were all,
Right.
gung-ho about canceling, then
Well,
we-
I mean, it's a valid point that gets raised is that,
not
that'll,
cancel, you know what I mean?
okay, well,
that
why
at
don't we
this
do-
point, a lot of our, not a lot, but it's a sizable part of the population that's not active on the internet.
Oh.
And so,
Okay, well, why don't I take a motion to schedule meetings for 2017, the first and third Thursdays of the month? Is there a motion?
I'll motion.
Mr. Monroe, is there a
I'll
second?
A second.
Ms. Frescatore, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The chair votes aye.
are we canceling Thursday's meeting?
Actually, the answer is yes, it's already been canceled because we don't have the
Time to
legally notify.
Right.
But I don't have any business for it anyway.
So the next scheduled meeting
The
will be the
19th.
19th of January, and first and third will be scheduled.
For the year.
For the year.
And well, if we don't have business, we'll cancel like
We'll
we've been
keep
doing.
doing
Okay,
what
I
we've been
mean,
doing. Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, I didn't want to do battle over, that's why I wanted to leave it
No.
and we discuss it
Whatever's
as a
easier for
board, and
everybody.
that's fine.
yeah.
Okay, we're going to move on to set and affirm the calendar year 2017 non-CBA township holidays, not collective bargaining. Do you want me to read through these, or I can?
Typically, yeah, we go through the
Okay.
meetings.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and read through them. New Year's Day, Good Friday, Independence Day, Veterans Day, Day after Thanksgiving, President's Day, Memorial Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving Day, and Christmas Day. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. McPhillips, all in favor?
Aye.
The chair votes aye. Motion carries. We need to affirm the meeting policy, and I'm going to pass that over to Mr. Schuster for a quick.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I sent you all an email on this earlier. If you look at the second to last paragraph on the meeting policy, I'm proposing to delete that. It essentially says that all recordings, whether it be audio or video, of the meeting shall be destroyed after the minutes are complete, and we're obviously not adhering to that. We record them, they're on cable, they're on YouTube. So I just want to make sure the policy adheres to the current practice, so I'm recommending that change.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a motion to affirm the township meeting policy?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Monroe, all in favor?
Aye.
The chair votes aye. Motion carries. Designate delegates to the PSATS convention and appoint the voting delegate. Is there a motion to delegate each supervisor and the township manager as delegates to the PSATS Education Conference and appoint voting delegate? So, and who will the voting delegate be? Drum roll, please. I believe it's Mr. Monroe,
It's
sir.
turn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da. I nominate
that day.
Brian Monroe.
Okay, I will second that. Okay. I second.
You
All
got
in
me last
favor?
year.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
Nay.
Congratulations, Mr. Monroe.
I tried that last year.
No, Mr. Monroe was a no, that's a
Yeah.
4-1, I'm sorry. Correct, I stand corrected.
I tried that last year.
Congratulations, Mr. Monroe. Okay.
Now, we actually have to elect ourselves as delegates at
Oh,
this point, too.
I wrapped that into the same.
That was the same
motion.
It's all the
Yeah.
same ones?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're all delegates, only one voting delegate.
Right.
Cool. All right, just making sure.
So what we're gonna do next is, we're on new business, and these are all resolutions that need to be passed. So I'm gonna ask that we do this in one motion, instead of reading through and taking a motion on each one. But I'm gonna ask Mr. Schuster to read through them all, and we can stop them at any time if there's any questions, or,
Yes.
is that copacetic?
That's
Okay.
okay.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is new business number 11. So items A through G, all the items with the exception of the last one, are exactly the same as you've done in the previous years. Item A is a resolution setting the police officer's contributions to the pension fund. B is setting at-will employee contributions to the pension fund. C is setting the township's contributions to the defined compensation pension fund. D is setting of the WEDIO employee contributions to the pension fund. E is setting the ASME local employee contributions to the pension fund. All of those are in accordance with our personnel policies and the collective bargaining agreements. Item F is appointing township representatives to the Bucks County Tax Collection Committee. We are recommending that the delegates be myself, the finance director, and the assistant township manager. And item G is appointing the township manager as the chief administrative officer of the police and non-uniform pension plan. The last item, item H, is adopting the 2017 fee schedule. If you recall at your last meeting, Amanda did a presentation for you with the recommendations, the new fee schedule. I haven't heard any comments or feedback, so if you're okay with adopting that fee schedule, you could do it with that item tonight.
Is there a motion to approve the new business items?
Motion.
Ms. Frescatore, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Crowley, is there any further comment or discussion from the board on these? I know it was a lot to go through, but it was just simpler to do it in one.
I just want to say I haven't gotten any complaints about the fee schedule so far, so that's a good sign.
Nor have I.
So,
Well, we'll see how the new one goes, and hopefully it'll be consolidated.
it's
easier to
uniform.
see. It's uniform, it's fair, more in line with other townships. And if there's any, we assume we will be getting some feedback on it, and if we need to make a tweak here and there, we'll come back to you with that feedback.
Okay.
Is there any comment from the public? Okay, seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye as well. Motion's carried. Okay, the next up is consider approval of supplemental bill list dated December 30th, 2016. Mr. Monroe?
I would like to make that motion. Again, as you just stated, it's a supplemental bill list dated December 30th, 2016, in the amount of $1,119,296.22.
Okay, is there a second?
Second?
Any comment from the board? Any from the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Next up is public comment, any non-agenda items. Is there any further comment from the public this evening? Non-agenda items? Okay. Seeing none, going to move on to the manager's announcement of upcoming meetings.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've already mentioned that the next meeting, the 5th, is canceled. The next meeting after that will be the 19th. At the moment, I only have two significant items on the agenda. One is the presentation of the street paving plan. Eric's been working very hard on that, so we'll have that presentation to get your feedback. And if all goes well, the codification adoption will be on your agenda.
All right. It's been a long time coming.
So it still has to go through Planning Commission, so we're hopeful it's going to be on, but it may push into February.
Okay.
That's all you have?
That's all I have right now.
Okay. Supervisor's comment, Ms. Frescatore.
I'd just like to say, this has been a really wonderful year, and it's been my honor and pleasure to serve with my fellow supervisors and the township manager, Greg, you're doing a phenomenal job. Our solicitor, Mike Savona, has gone through a lot of red tape in the past year and brought in about $3.7 million getting through red tape. So I want to thank him for those efforts. And Craig Kennard has done a phenomenal job with the engineer, and I'm glad that he'll be handling our traffic. And so, all in all, I'm very happy to be working with all the professionals in the supervisory board. Also, would like to give a big thanks to all of the residents who heard Mr. Crawley and Mr. Phillips' appeals to apply to the different positions on the boards. And there's nothing better than a volunteer who wants to donate their time on behalf of their community. And I want to thank them for their service. Also, I'd like to congratulate the season for Penn State. Yeah, it was a shootout. It was an exciting game, and they went down, but it was a great year. So congratulations to them. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Yeah,
Thank you.
speaking of the game, there's 1 minute left, and my phone's ringing, and it says Mr. Monroe. I said to him, do you realize there's 1 minute left in this game?
Oh, he called me too. I did the same thing to him. I was like, I wouldn't answer.
NFL. Professional football.
Okay, Mr. Monroe.
The only thing I have to say, Mr. Chair, is that, a year ago when, during our last reorg, it takes a little time to get your feet under you with this position. And I know it's a 6-year position, and you probably really need the full 6 years. I mean, I know a heck of a lot more now than I did 12 months ago, and a lot of that has to do with you guys, and Kathy. I really appreciate, you know, how we've worked together this past year, and I look forward to the next year.
Awesome.
Nice.
Mr. McPhillips?
Yeah, tonight we appointed a lot of really good people to boards and committees, but I can't help but think there was a time when the township, we used to recognize people who served on boards and committees. Myself, I served on planning, zoning, what have you, and at the end of your term, township would bring you up and recognize you. I'm looking through all the boards and committees here, and there's at least one, if not more, persons from each board and committee whose term has expired. So I propose that possibly in February or so, we bring these people in, we recognize them for the work they do for our township.
Yeah, we used to give out a certificate, and
Yes.
quite
Yes.
frankly, I don't know how
Yeah.
we got away from that. I really don't.
Yeah.
I'm
I
fine.
saved mine.
I'm fine with, if you want to do it in February, and we can get it back to reorg next year.
Good idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So can we,
Absolutely.
okay.
Yes.
Very good, very good. All right.
Mr. Crowley?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First, I want to thank my fellow board members for reappointing me as vice chair. I appreciate the privilege. Thank you. Didn't get to do my new businesses, so I have to do that now.
All
There's
right.
one new business to announce. A Baby's Breath at 65 West Street Road, Suite B202. So welcome to town. We wish you the best of luck. You know, as always, I like to recognize not just the administration does a great job and all of our employees, but all the volunteers. And I do have to call out special thanks to the Public Works guys. Late in December, I made them aware of a situation through Greg of water pooling, and within just a day or two, the situation was resolved very quickly, and I appreciated the speed. And oftentimes, Eric and our Public Works guys, they'll get criticism when things go wrong, but when things go right, they don't always get the kudos. So I just want to say thank you to our Public Works team for working so hard on our behalf. And I'd also like to take a moment to thank Miss Megan Weaver for all her service in terms of taking minutes on this board for how long now? 3 years. 3
And
years.
For the public's consumption, this is Megan's last night on our panel. She's not leaving our employ. She just wants to stay home on Thursday nights.
Yes.
Watch her
Megan, we
television.
appreciate you.
We thank you, Megan, for giving up your Thursday nights for 3 years, and we hope you enjoy them going forward.
It was educational.
But thank you for all your service to us. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
And I want to thank you too, Megan. And, you know, it's interesting with Megan, because Megan is kind of shy. And whenever I come into the office, I say to Megan, "Am I your favorite supervisor?" And she says, "You know I can't say that." And I always say to her, "Well, am I in the top 5?" And she says, "You're in the top 5." So I appreciate being in the top 5, and you're in top 5 with me too as well, Megan. I appreciate all you do. Megan works her tail off for the township and for the board. She does. And you're to be commended for it. We thank you, and you will be missed on the panel.
Yes,
You
thank
will.
you, Megan.
And the only other announcements I have, I want to thank everyone for the mercy tonight. This was a great, smooth reorganization. And I also, and Mr. McPhillips knows this better than anyone, I always recognize when a star dies, and recently we lost George Michael. I thought George Michael was a phenomenal singer, phenomenal. And I didn't realize till after he passed how much charity work this man did. He did an enormous amount of charity work, so he'll be sorely missed. And 2016 was a tough year for entertainers, really tough. So with that, I want to wish everyone a happy new year. Look forward to serving you all for the year and serving with you, my fellow board members. And I want to thank you for the reappointment as your chairman as well. And that's all I have. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Mr. Crowley, meeting adjourned. Megan, thank you again.
I'm going to do all this extra time.